Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Lance and BT dissect the what the fuck moments that make MMA and pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Lance and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
All right, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Wait, I gotta give me a drink here.
Drank. He's drinking.
Drinking. This is STSPod.club, a production. By the way, this is WTF June 2024. It's episode 158 of the Cool Kids Countdown, episode 852. I'm BT. And that's Lance over there. And I would like to say that I've never caught Lance fiddling around. Never.
No.
But, folks, I must play a voicemail so that everyone can hear this from Lance. A voicemail from Lance. I want y'all to hear this.
Fake
I am
news.
just leaving this voicemail. I am not going to be able to record today. I got a haircut appointment this afternoon. Got to stay fresh. Fuck the listeners. I am a gay. I am just leaving this voicemail. I am not going to be able to record today. I got a haircut appointment this afternoon. Got to stay fresh. Fuck the listeners. I am a gay. I am just leaving this voicemail. I am not.
All right, guys. I'm sorry. I want to play it a couple. I want to play it a couple of times. Lance, was that your voice? Yes, it was your voice.
AI. That was some sort of AI. I don't know what that was.
It was Pride Month, so we expected it to happen anyway. So he's from Chicago, the home of the 2021 WNBA champions, the Chicago Sky, this Saturday. They will be at the Wintrust Arena versus the New York Liberty. Be there, folks. Be there. He's the snark of excellence, my partner in crime, your friend and mine. Well, sometimes. He's Lance Levine, and we are MJ and Scottie Pippen of podcasting, baby.
Oh.
Woo! How's it going, man?
All right. I'm here in the Hanks Mexicola Studios today. I have to dispute a couple things there. I did get the haircut. I am looking fresh. That is true. But all of the rest of that was untrue. I would never say F the listeners. That would
it's a voicemail. You sent it to me. I don't know. It came straight from your
only
phone.
Truth to all of that was the haircut, the fresh haircut. That's right. So
all right, quick business real quick.
Business.
87% we're ahead over last year. Woo. I told you it's going to start evening out because we were really a lot of plays last year in the later part of the year. But June we were down from last year's by 2%, but overall 87. So we're still kicking it. The top 3 episodes, number 847 was The Record Store, Boston, More Than a Feeling. Number 2 was 843, which was WTF of May. And number 841, Wrestling Radio relived episode 9. It was original air date of June the 26th, 1987. Real quick, this is a light month. It's very similar to what we do in November and December. Here's what light means. We do Rolling Into Memphis every week, but we are not promising we're not really promising any other extra episodes, but it looks like we're going to do 3 more episodes. This one, Breakout Stars, and The Record Store. So there we go. Light month, light. Lance, tell them what we're doing.
This is the WTF news desk. As the announcer introduced, we are here at the desk and we're covering all the wild and wacky and wonderful news stories from pro wrestling and MMA. That would be mixed martial arts, if I'm not mistaken. And that's not AI. This is really me telling you what we're about to do here. So we're at the WTF news desk. Anybody can cover news, I mean, Meltzer and Keller and all those guys cover the news, but we cover the weird stuff, the truly bizarre. So we're going to start with our stipulation match at number 10. That's what we always do. And this is a loaded month as far as the stip match. I got to race through these because we got 3 we got to talk about. So we're going to, of course, start with the DDT, the Toden Pro Wrestling Show on June 29th. It was 16 fans in attendance, and that's because it was on a train. So we've talked about these battles before. Senshiro Takagi and Minoru Suzuki. Everybody knows Suzuki. So their battles on the vehicles continue, as you can see.
Yeah, if you're watching the video, we went ahead and put it up there, Suzuki. And look who showed up.
Yeah, Jushin Thunder Liger shows up as a conductor on the train. So now they're on a tram in Tokyo. So various guest stars appear. Governor Yuriko Koike gets on board. She is running for re-election in Tokyo, so she gets on board to try and make an appearance. She exits at the first stop, and that's when they really start brawling. They kind of kept it low-key until she got off the train. So others board at other stops. They jump right into the fights. At one point, Suzuki is attacked with a rubber band. I thought that sounded fun.
Hey, that's dangerous.
They might have poked out an eye. So
yeah, that's what they used to say in grade school.
Don't play with them rubber bands. So amidst the chaos, Suzuki chokes out Sayaka Unagi with a towel, and the towel is declared the Iron Man heavy metal weight champion at that point. The towel wins the title. So that's that title that they keep mixing up. So anyway, a cop boards at one point, but it's Takayuki Ueki, and he has a gun. He cowers to Suzuki. Suzuki takes the gun and shoots the guy. So we don't know how injured he was, but he shoots the guy. So that also foreshadows one of our top stories this month. So a comedian gets on, Sugi Khan. He boards one named guy, Sugi Khan. He boards, he does his act. He pins the towel to win the title. So then Suzuki grabs the towel. He chokes out the comedian with the towel. The towel is once again declared the champion. So there's more stops. Two-time champ just on that train. So there's more stops. There's singing contests. Jushin Liger gets on board. 55 minutes later, Suzuki beats Takagi for the title. So that is the end of that match. So 55 minutes on the train is our stip match of the month. But 2 others we want to mention really quickly. There's a DDT drunk tag match on June 11th. Every 2 minutes, all 4 guys in the tag match have to take a random shot. So finally, at some point, they're all 4 drunk. Chris Brooks passes out, and Mao, because it's all in capital letters, Mao falls on him and pins him for the title because they're all drunk, or for the tag win, rather. And then finally, on June 21st, it's the DDT spa and pool match. It is a 5. Yeah, that's another Saturday night at the Trammell residence.
All right.
So 5-man elimination match. Get the wife on board with that one. So, all right. So the 5-man elimination match took place in a spa complex. It's won by Shunma Katsumata. We've talked about him before. So they brawl. These 5 guys brawl in a sauna, in a pool, in a game arcade, in a karaoke booth. I'm like, this place sounds like fun. I'd like to go hang out there, One guy passes out in the steam room. That's how he got eliminated. Another guy loses his mask in the pool, nearly drowns. One of the participants, the name is TO-Y. So I'm struggling with how to pronounce that. Is it just simply toy? Is it T-O-Y?
T-O-Y. T-O-Y. I don't know, man.
T-O-Y is pinned under a giant water balloon. And then after the match, Katsumata falls asleep after he wins. The ref declares the blanket that he's sleeping under the new Iron Man heavy metal champion. So now the blanket has been champion throughout the month of June. And then finally, to wrap it all up, Kigo Nakamura puts the blanket in a sleeper hold to win the title. So there you go. Hell of a month in the stip.
3 times for that blanket, boy. 3 times for that blanket.
3 times champion.
And since you always point out people's typos, when you said this to me, you said Luger showed up. So I don't think that's funny. You making fun of Lex Luger on that train? Was you making fun of him?
Jushin Thunder Luger. That's
Luger.
Right. Yeah, they look alike. when he takes off that mask with the horns and shit, he looks like Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor. Luger, whatever.
You said there were 16 people there. I tried to find this before we went, but I had seen it sometime during the month. But it was an really high ticket price, like $1,600 or $1,800 for you to be on that train with them for the fight. So awesome. The gun and all that, if they did that in America, they would go ape shit crazy. So
yeah, for sure. So
fun.
At number 9, we have the antics of Not So Sexy Red. So NXT Battleground takes place. It's June 9th from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, which was a really weird venue to see that show. Noticeable empty seats on camera, even though the place only holds like 700 people. So it was a really odd setting for that. Okay, and here, BT, man, you're coming through with the videos today.
I know. You should be watching it on a video, guys. Y'all should be watching a video.
Sexy Red, who is this rap girl, whatever, who's on the scene now. She was supposed to be hosting.
Sexy rap girl, whatever.
Yeah, whatever she is. I don't know. So anyway, she's supposed to be hosting Battleground.
And the night before, she's acting like a fool, is what she's doing.
The night before, good old Red gets arrested at 1 a.m. at the Newark airport. The night before, there's a brawl at the airport, which you can see if you're watching. Never, by the way, here's some advice from us. Never a good idea to get into a brawl at an airport because it's not going to end well. So she's arrested for disorderly conduct. Somehow is still able to make the show in Las Vegas. So she gets from Newark to Las Vegas. So she grabs a stanchion, does not use it, but she grabs it and threatens to use it. She does lose a shoe in the footage. I want to make sure that we notice that in the surveillance footage, the cameras show that she loses a shoe. Like just the other day, somebody got speared out of their shoe. I think Sami Zayn got speared out of his shoe. By Braun Breaker. So a lot of loose shoes in the business this week. So I think that Sexy Red, personally, I think she should be arrested for her music, but that's a whole nother story. So Sexy Red, Not So Sexy Red in my book, arrested at number 9.
I'm so surprised you're not attracted to her. That is your kind of girl right there. And then have you ever listened to her music, Lance?
I've heard what they play on NXT. They played some on NXT, did not like it. I'm not a big fan of the facial tattoos. That's
really, huh?
Yeah, not a big fan. Not a big.
In other words, he's very judgmental of facial tattoos.
All
right, number 8.
Number 8. Poor Marty Jannetty, married and divorced. So WTF folk hero Marty Jannetty marries Addie Galopon. It is his second marriage. I bet, if you had taken bets on how many times had Marty Jannetty been married, you would have said a hell of a lot more than 2. But
you're right.
Second marriage. So they were married by one Missy Beefcake, by the way. That was who performed the ceremony, Missy Beefcake.
I went to high school with her. Yeah.
Did you really? Small world. So, all right. So Addie is a grandma from Hawaii.
She lived down there by my mama.
She is love my mama. So Addie she's a grandma from Hawaii. I guess Marty might be a grandpa. Who knows? But anyway, so Addie is a grandma. She is the CEO of a company called K-Pop Crazy, which sells K-pop inspired jewelry. So,
wow,
regular entrepreneur. So, sadly, poor Marty announces that they are immediately divorcing. He puts on his Facebook page that 2 of his best friends have backstabbed him, implying that Addie is one of them. He said, says everything's okay. He'll be okay because there are more women waiting for him everywhere. So this is the way I like to think about myself. But Marty has, I'd like to think that way. I'm not saying I do. So anyway,
legend in his own mind.
How many what's the over and under on days, on Marty Jannetty marriages? Would you have set it at like 6 days and pick the under? So I want to know, was it Brutus Beefcake that was his other friend that backstabbed him? Because
that could have been, because it was.
I don't want to start any rumors here, but Missy Beefcake was there, Brutai was there, so who knows?
That just gets me with a guy like Marty Jannetty. Here's a guy, if he would have stayed, and there's all kinds of history about Shawn Michaels being so drunk and so drugged up. It's kind of that joke about Guns N' Roses. They kicked out somebody because they were a drug addict. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Marty Jannetty. This guy would stay straight, at least presentable. Mm-hmm. Here's a man who probably got so much poontang. It's just unbelievable. And Sean probably got most of it, but there's always a bunch of leftover poontang for Marty. So he wouldn't be in this situation now. Lance, that was number 8. And you know what comes after number 8?
Oh boy, here we go. Drum roll.
Incident report.
Woo. Uh-oh.
And my new friend from Boomer Bunker podcast, she said when I showed her this video, she said, "Do boys only do this sort of thing?
Yes,
do boys?"
Yes.
Every boy except for Lance. So I just want everybody to know that. So here we go. Here's the incident report. Thank you. Lance, what did it say? How many days?
177 days.
77 cents. I have pooped my pants.
177. That's right. And yes, it is only boys and mainly Southern boys. I think we've established that too. So
we have disputed that. There's a lot of people up there too. All right, number 7.
Number 7, we got Logan Paul corner. So the U.S. champion, we got in U.S. champion news on June 12th, our guy Logan tweets a picture of him with Donald Trump, and Trump is holding his title, and the caption says U.S. champion, U.S. president. So I'm like, it figures, right? Figures that he's going to be a Donald Trump fan. So anyway, of course, the IWC blows up both pro and con. There's people defending Trump, defending
Khan?
Logan Paul, not Tony Khan.
Oh, my bad.
But just the fact that picture existed, of course, set the world on fire for about 2 hours or so till the next topic that pissed people off. So, and then Dave had a typo. I will say that here in the main episode, Dave said on the January 20th episode of Collision, I think he meant June 20th, but anyway, he said January 20th episode. Dave reports that El Phantasmo, during his match win over AR Fox, the crowd in Allentown, PA was chanting Logan Paul at ELP. So first off, I am the king of the lookalikes. We have established this. We've been saying this for years. I'm the king of the lookalikes. Now, I will approve of this. That's the AI booing, that like the AI of my voice talking about the fresh haircut. So I will approve of this crowd chanting Logan Paul at him, but I'm taking full credit for it because I'm the one who said on this show, ELP stood for L. Logan Paul. So I call gimmick infringement on that crowd in Allentown, PA. So that is our Logan Paul news for the month of June at number 7.
I think Logan Paul ended up having Trump on his podcast because I think that's what that was all about. And we just want to say, if Donald Trump wants to come on our podcast, come on. We'll talk wrestling. Because you know what that means is a bunch of plays with Donald Trump on there. And he even has a great wrestling story. So
wasn't he at the top selling WrestleMania of all time?
At one time, He was for
recently.
many years. That was the top
the number 1 pay-per-view of all time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. Here we go.
Number 6, you mentioned about Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels getting a lot. So at number 6, we have Vince slept with everything. So 2 different people go on record in June. 2 different people go on record. Chael Sonnen and Missy Hyatt come forward in June with claims that Vince may be a sex addict. I think they didn't call him a sex addict, but that was pretty much what they were saying. So on that infamous, once again, the Rene Dupree podcast, we talked about that last month. Missy Hyatt says that she believes everything in the lawsuit about Vince because, quote, Vince slept with everything. So I was trying to make a list. There were ferns, there was lumber, there was pasta, you name it. Vince slept with it. So she says Vince came on to her as well. She pushed him away mainly because he had British teeth. She said she didn't like his teeth, so she pushed him away.
Breath.
I'm like, his breath and his teeth. I'm like, surely there were other reasons why you would push him away. You would like to think, but she pushed him away mainly because of his bad teeth. So, and then as for Chael Sonnen, I like Chael Sonnen.
I love Chael. Yes, big fan.
Really
big
entertaining guy. So on a podcast called Flagrant, he says that it's openly known that Vince slept with women and men in exchange for a push. So he says 11 people slept with Vince, 8 of them women. So you do the math. I think that means that there were 3 men that Vince might have slept with. So Chael's line is, when the men start coming out, it'll be a different story. He mentioned Shawn Michaels, like you had mentioned Shawn just a bit. He mentioned Shawn Michaels, but he doesn't clarify the comment. He just says Shawn Michaels, and he babbles on about something else. So I just got to say, none of this is a shock, right? I mean, maybe the guy part might be a little bit of a shock, but the fact that Vince slept with everything, not a shock. I mean, we know that Vince is like that, right? At number 4.
I mean, I remember talking long time ago with some of my friends at work, and we were talking about there were porn actors. Actually, I've got a meaning to all this, so stick with me here. There were porn actors that they found some of them doing gay porn too.
No,
and my friend said, one of my friends said, look, think about this. All they do is have sex. Yep. Every hole that they can find. They don't care, male, female, whatever. And that's what I thought about this thing with Vince. And it wasn't a big surprise. The Shawn Michaels thing has always been a rumor that Vince and Shawn had some fun together. And that's the reason Shawn got pushed. It has nothing to do, allegedly, has nothing to do with his talent or anything. I mean, he was an okay worker.
He was all right.
He wasn't 5-star or anything.
All
right, guys, we're going to go to halftime. I'll tell you what, we're going to do the same thing we did last month. If we go over an hour, well, you'll have to go to the main feed and finish it up. But if we don't go over an hour, you get to listen to it all. But we got to stick a commercial break right here to pay our sponsors. And when we come back, well, we'll do some shout-outs and halftime. Here we go. Commercial break now.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. This Sunday, don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Featuring Cowboy James Storm, TNA Wrestling star Marty Bell, and more. Reserve your seat at memphiswrestling.tv. Thursday and Friday, July 25th and 26th, don't miss our Memphis Wrestling Kids Camp. Kids ages 5 to 15 can register now. Limited spots remain. Saturday, August 3rd is our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's. Watch WWE SummerSlam with us. It's free. Sunday, August 4th, don't miss Memphis Wrestling live at the Wrestle Center. Thursday, August 8th, Memphis Wrestling is coming to the Benton County Fair in Camden, Tennessee. Saturday, August 10th, it's Rumble on the Trail, Part 2, benefiting St. Jude, featuring Tommy Dreamer. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Bogus, just bogus.
Big
not
shout-outs.
Not a good bogus, like Ed Bogus.
You got any shout-outs?
I'm just going to revamp that. This is the book. If you ever want to order the book.
Shout out for himself, a book.
Yeah, that's right. All the right notes on Amazon.com. Order the book, and you'll hear some more anecdotes like you hear on the show. Although
always big shout out to our longtime listeners, Ed, who always gives us something, John, who always sends me something, even about podcasts I'm not even listening to. He's
Brano Lasto.
Yeah, and then and Brano Lasto. We talk about Memphis wrestling every week. We got a lot of people that send messages, but those guys constantly sending out something to us especially when we do this show. And Chris always says something about WTF. When we were late that month, he's like, "Did I miss it? What the heck?"
Even though he's a Phillies fan, and they
are
notorious,
and an Eagles fan too.
They're notorious for their aroma. So.
All right, it's time, buddy. Every time that me and Lance do an episode, we like to do something called halftime. All right, halftime. Let's talk about, and I want to tell you something. I'm going to say it correctly right now. Let's talk about Captain Howdy for a few seconds here, or a few minutes. Every time I say Captain Howdy, in my mind, I say either Mr. Howdy or Uncle Howdy. I don't have any.
No, it's Uncle Howdy. It is Uncle Howdy.
I know. No, I say Mr. Howdy or something else. I can't remember.
Captain Howdy.
Captain Howdy. I say Captain Howdy.
Captain Howdy was the logo of Cream magazine, if I remember correctly.
Oh, maybe that's where that's stuck
I think
in
that's
my.
what that's from.
Yeah,
The character in WWE is Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy. So
Yeah,
give me
it is
your
Uncle
thoughts
Howdy.
so far. What are you thinking?
I thought it was interesting when they first did it because you kind of everybody knew it was coming, and there had been rumors about it for a long time, but I don't feel like they're doing much with it. Like, what are they doing with it? Are they heels? Are they faces? They're attacking Chad Gable exclusively. They left people laying in the locker room that first night, and then they really haven't followed up on it that much. They showed the interviews, the whole thing with the VHS tapes that they found, and they found a way to play them miraculously. I don't know. It's interesting.
By using a VHS player.
They happen to have one on the truck, It's interesting. I want to see where they're going with it. Are they heels? Are they faces? Is it a ripoff of Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt's creativity? Yes. Is it a tribute to him? I guess that too. Yes.
Yeah, I don't consider it.
It doesn't bother me. It's not offensive to me. Like, I'm sure there's a faction of the IWC that's offended by it because they're ripping off the memory of Bray. There's people like that. I don't think of it as a ripoff. I just want to see.
I don't, because it's his brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it was somebody else, I might think that. And that was my main question. I don't want them to just boom do it. I love the long storyline and us finally figure out what's going to go on with them, and ended this past Monday with Bo Dallas in there with Adam Pearce. So that should be interesting. But I like the whole dragging it out. And that was one of my questions to you. And I actually texted this to you right before they debuted are the fans going to accept it? And by my just listening or watching Twitter and everything, X, man, the fans love it. And I think we both said this. Are they going to think it's a ripoff or a copy? And, I told you the only example of a copy I would say that really got over was Kane was like a copy of The Undertaker. I mean, he was a little different. He was red, blah, blah, blah. But he got over big time. Kane had a very successful career and was over like crazy. So it'll be interesting to see. Bo is very talented. You never was, you said, not a fan of him in the ring, but I always was a fan of him when he was in NXT. He's talented, and we see he's a little touched like his brother was, and coming up with all this bizarre, so much going on in that mind. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, and whether, like you said, it seems like they're not doing anything quick enough, whether people will start shitting on it if it takes too long to come out. But that's Uncle Howdy, not Captain Howdy.
I don't think they'll shit on it. I think they'll just, kind of forget about it. If they drop it, for a couple weeks and they don't go back to it, I think people will just forget about it.
I don't think it's going to be dropped unless, it's the thing with, they took a long time with Bray last time, and then he got sick, and then we didn't see anymore. So, I like it. It's different than anything on wrestling right now. So that's one of the reasons.
And this is something else that you and I kind of texted about is, right now, WWE is so hot, they can't get out of their own way in terms of creating buzz in a good way. Like, this thing like Sal Ruka and Kehlani Jordan, that was the talk of the internet for a couple of days because it was on an NXT show with all the tumbling and the acrobatics and stuff. The whole thing with, the Wyatt Six or SICKS, just everything they do, the beating up of Paul Heyman, everything they do is creating what we used to call water cooler buzz, which there's no water coolers anymore probably, but everything they do creates buzz. The whole thing last night, AEW got some of that too with the Tony Storm thing. But it's just an amazing time to be a fan. As we've said many times over the years on this show and many shows that we've done, what a great time, exciting, interesting time it is to be a fan because there's so much cool shit going on.
Oh, yeah. It's just almost like we started I restarted the podcast. All of a sudden, we're in the boom era of pro wrestling. And unfortunately, we were in a boom era of every fucking body doing a podcast. Not only wrestling, but everything else. So there we go. That was halftime, guys. Halftime. All right, are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on there, Lance. Get
All
it
right.
on.
5, it's social media uproar time. We
Smut.
like to say it's smut, but we don't want the kiddos to be upset about it. So it's smut time, social media uproar time, in which there's all kinds of battles and skirmishes on X and on Facebook and on MySpace and you name it. It's all there. TikTok, Twitter, whatever. So, all right. So we have Gabe Kidd has irritable bowel syndrome. We have Taz versus Jordan Grace, and we have some fatherly advice for the girls. So we'll start with Gabe Kidd. He did some AEW stints for the Forbidden Door month. He tweets on June 27th, I took 2 shits at AEW and didn't flush either of them. Fuck them. That was his tweet. So that was funny enough to me as it was, but then
I love Gabe Kidd.
The best part were the comments on Twitter responding to him. So we have at Alyssa Tweets saying, well, that really only hurts the cleaning people.
Oh,
and
God.
then we have at Jungi says, you pooped 2 times in the span of 5 hours? I'm more impressed with that. And then finally, at Jack _farmhouse says, I took home 2 souvenirs that night.
Oh!
Those were some of my favorite comments in response to Gabe
love it.
and his irritable bowel syndrome, apparently. So, all right, then we have Jordan Grace puts up a ripped pic of herself because that's all she has these days.
That's right.
Her where she's ripped. So the caption reads, beat me if you can, survive if I let you. And this was
hey, wait, Lance, I think I heard that before.
Somewhere. June 25th is that post. So, of course, Taz has to respond. He can't just let it go. So he records a 3-minute video where he
Grumpy old man.
He says nothing. He records and he babbles for 3 minutes and he says nothing. He says, we have no heat. That's my line. I like her. I protect what's mine. He just is babbling. So I'm just like, shut up or say something.
Yeah, but he came back with, hey, that's copyrighted or something like that to her at first. There's a lot of guys in the business, and Taz is actually went out of his way to get his trademarks and his stuff and spend his own money. So I got to kind of say, if he spent all that money, you don't want somebody. I mean, who would bootleg Taz stuff,
Yeah.
But I love Taz, but I see where I would have I might have been pissed if AEW started doing shooting the shiznit,
It could have been a coincidence. It might have been a coincidence.
I don't think it was. She's a big fan, so that's what she said. Right. Yeah. She went.
Okay. Then finally, we have at the anti-mark of PW posting that female wrestlers should stop showing so much ass.
That's right.
All in caps. So
I got something for them.
Wait, that's for him, right?
Oh, him. Yeah, him.
So he compares what women go through these days to black wrestlers, what they went through back in the day. He says that what black wrestlers went through was worse. And then, of course, and then, of course, the women take the bait and respond to him. So Deanna Purrazzo, Sky Blue, our friend Hyan responded to him, and Killer Kelly all rebut him. And then, of course, their Mark fans congratulate them for speaking up against this guy. So he offered fatherly advice, stop showing so much ass, all in caps.
Well, I agree with him. I'll boo the women for showing so much ass. Damn y'all for showing so much ass.
Boo you for showing so much ass. Cover that up. I don't want to see that on my feed. So, all
right. Number 4. By the way, Gabe Kidd. I love Gabe Kidd. He reminds me of he reminds me of Bryan Danielson / Bruiser Brody. He's angry all the time.
From Guns N' Roses /
No.
I don't see him in Gabe Kidd.
No, I said
no.
Forget it.
I do want to clarify something. You say you're a big fan of Gabe Kidd. He says in the tweet, I took 2 shits. So doesn't that go against what you say as far as the grammar?
That's right. It does go because you can't say I took a shit. You're supposed to. Apparently, somebody did take a shit. One of the fans did.
Yeah, 2 souvenirs. That's
you're
right.
You're supposed to give a shit or leave a shit. So there you go.
You left a shit. He left 2 shits at AEW and didn't flush either of them. So all right, and number 4, we have Ultimo Guerrero and the Mask Saga. So on the June 20th episode, not January 20th, as Dave would have said, but on the June 20th episode of Collision, again, a Forbidden Door match, preview, warm-up, whatever. TK, we call him TK, we're insiders, So TK arranges for Lucha legend Ultimo Guerrero to be matched up with Kazuchika Okada in a dream match of sorts, just on regular TV. We're just going to throw that out there on regular TV.
Not on
pay-per-view
build up or anything.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
So anyway, but the stipulation was that TK wanted him to be masked, even though he'd lost his mask in a match years ago, and he was not told ahead of time, hey, bring a mask. So anyway, TK was apparently a fan of the masked version of Ultimo Guerrero. So it reminded me of the Saudi Sheik who wanted the Yokozuna to be at the show, even though Yokozuna had been dead for many years. He wanted him at Crown Jewel. So TK, a little bit out of touch on that one. So they rushed to have AEW seamstresses make a mask for him, but it didn't fit properly. The mask came off throughout the match. And
he couldn't see. He said he couldn't see.
The match came off a few times. So this happened to be an episode of Collision that was taped. So they were able to edit out with the mask coming off when it wasn't supposed to. So the finish of the match was supposed to be Okada hitting him with the Rainmaker and the mask flying off, which was the finish. So this whole thing was just ammo for the TK critics because it was just really weird on his part. Not that that's a shock. You know, TK demonstrates weirdness, I feel, every month on this show. So anyway, Ultimo Guerrero with the weird mask at number 4.
Yeah, I can't. It's one of those where you read it in Observer and you just go, huh?
Yeah.
What? It just, I had no idea. And I didn't see it, but I just thought it was so funny that they were trying to come up with the mask. He's backstage going, come on, I need a mask.
Yeah, make me a mask. Hurry up.
Oh, crazy.
All right, at number 3, Too Cold Scorpio Lawman. So we have Charles Skaggs. I know you like the shoot name.
Charles Skaggs.
Charles Skaggs, 58, arrested on June 15th for stabbing a man while working as a security guard at a Kansas City gas station. I think that's a big story right there. Too Cold Scorpio is a Kansas City gas station security guard.
Hot as a Kansas City gas station.
Does he wear a security outfit or does he wear like his gear? That's what I'm wondering. If he's,
I don't know. Does that turn on when he's wearing a security?
Yeah, definitely.
All
right. So the story is, we're not going there. So the story is I'm not Vince McMahon. Story is at 3:30 in the morning. Too Cold Skaggs tells the guy no smoking inside. The guy tells police that he thought he put the cigarette out, but he admits it may have still been lit. He wasn't sure. So they scuffle. Skaggs pulls out a knife, claiming self-defense, pulls out a knife. The police find the man stabbed in the head, chest, buttocks, legs, and abdomen. So he was stabbed multiple times, including the buttocks. That got my attention. So the man says he and a friend left the casino. They went to the gas station ATM to get more money so they could go back to the casino. He claims that Skaggs followed him and attacked him. The gas station manager tells Too Cold to go take a shower because you don't know what kind of diseases might be in that guy's blood. So I thought that was a funny twist to it too. So bottom line, I think Jim Ross has said this on the air a few times. Nothing good happens at 3:30 in the morning. That's the bottom line. Nothing good happens.
At a gas station in Kansas City, nothing good happens. And Too Cold Scorpio is the guy that at one time was going to stab Hawk.
Yeah.
And whip Hawk's ass. So this guy has no fear whatsoever. Kind of guy you wouldn't want to pick a fight with at 3:30 in the morning in Kansas City gas station. So
with a cigarette lit or unlit.
That's right. I would just do what he said,
He'll stab you in the buttocks and he doesn't care. So watch out. All right, at number 2, we're keeping the violence going at number 2. So MMA fighter kills a guy over a parking space at Twin Peaks. So we have former fighter Shannon the Cannon Rich is in an incident on June 15th in Phoenix after an altercation in the Twin Peaks restaurant parking lot. Twin Peaks, if you don't know, is like kind of a knockoff of Hooters, basically.
Yeah.
With a lumberjack theme where all the girls are dressed as like sexy lumberjacks and stuff. So anyway, so they're outside in the parking lot at Twin Peaks. Rich, 53, gets into it with Alejandro Samplina over a parking spot at the fake Hooters. So Samplina, they're arguing over a parking spot. It sounds like a George Costanza bit or something. So Samplina pulls out a knife. He chases Rich, who goes to his car, gets a gun, and shoots Samplina, claiming self-defense because he's chasing him with a knife. So witnesses are asked about this. They back up Rich that it was self-defense, that he coming after him with a knife, so he's going to shoot him. So Rich was an MMA tomato can. He had a record of 58 and 89. He was released with no charges. So all of this, a man dies over a fucking parking space at number 2. Very bizarre.
Really weird. And this goes back to what with the MMA, we started including MMA as soon as we started doing What the Fuck News Desk, because there's so much stuff. But think about all the MMA guys that we have covered that's either been put in jail, killed somebody, killed. Think about that compared to the wrestlers that's done that. I mean, these are modern day fighters. They're always in trouble. It's crazy. It's crazy. UFC is full of thugs. I know that surprises a lot of people, but it's full of thugs because that's what they grow up fighting. So that's why they make some good. I don't know.
I think the term white trash has crossed our
No, don't say that. You'll be banned. You'll be banned.
It's only Facebook that bans for when I say white trash.
Oh my God. Oh, Lance, come back, Lance. He got removed because he said that.
Oh no, I got banned for 5 seconds. So
hey, we want to play this.
We want to play. To be back. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, you want me to play? Go ahead and talk about the number 1, and then I'll play the video clip.
Number 1, Dana White. You are no Andy Kaufman. So once again, another WTF regular, Dana White, finally comes clean on the bizarre walkout on the Howie Mandel podcast that we covered a few months ago. So if you recall, Howie introduces Dana on his podcast. Dana praises Howie, says what a great guy he is. But then Dana snaps and says, I'm sick of doing podcasts, and he walks out. So he's on for all of about 60 seconds on his podcast. Turns out, we come to find out in June, it was all a work. Holy shit, it was all a work. We're shocked by this. So it was Howie Mandel's idea to do a fake shoot Andy Kaufman bit. And I don't know why he picked Dana White to be the one to do it, but he did. So they were going to keep it a secret. But Dana gets upset because people are ripping on Howie because of the podcast incident. So he comes clean. So Dana's at an event and people are chanting, fuck Howie Mandel, which I can't figure out the cadence of that chant. Fuck Howie Mandel. Like, how does that go? Like,
I think it would be better. I think it would be fuck Howie. Fuck Howie.
It was fuck Howie Mandel was the chant.
Howie Mandel.
Yeah, I don't know what that cadence is going to be. So it breaks Dana's heart to hear this. So he reveals that it's a big ruse altogether and that Howie is, quote, the fucking greatest dude ever. So I just got to ask, why on all of this? Why
not?
Any of
I mean, I had no problem with it when we talked about it when it was on WTF. I knew it was. I felt it was.
No, you knew it was a work.
Yeah, no, man.
Damn,
you know why?
I know you are an insider.
I am an insider, and I've worked in the business, so I know how it is. I know how it is.
Clipboard. Wait.
All right, here we go. Clipboard.
You have the clipboard. I got the clipboard right here.
Here we go. It's going to have sound to it. He was talking about Howie and his podcast Empire, which I didn't have any idea he was. I know he's popular, but I didn't know he had an empire. So here we go.
He's a germaphobe too.
Companies and all this other stuff. Howie Mandel owns a lot of shit that people don't realize. Smart guy, great guy. So we're walking through and stuff. He goes, "Would you do me a favor?"
That's great.
And I said, "Yeah. What's up?" And he's like, "Would you come in and get up and walk off my podcast?"
That's great.
I go, I would be fucking honored to walk off your podcast because I'm so fucking sick of doing podcasts. It's funny. So we go in there and do it, right? And he's like,
awesome.
Take this to the grave. I said, done. I'll take it to the grave. Right? So I'm walking around. I go do this thing with the Nelk Boys, right? We're doing this Monkey Bomb fucking tour. The whole fucking crowd starts chanting, fuck Howie Mandel. Fuck Howie Mandel. I go, whoa. Time out. I can't do this. Howie Mandel's the greatest fucking dude ever. Sorry, Howie. It's just, when I go out and
unmute us. Greatest. I love Howie Mandel. Always
have. Greatest dude ever. That's right.
I think it's because he could put those gloves over his head. I mean,
he's a germaphobe. I think he
had the gloves on his head
because he's a germaphobe. He didn't want his head touching
He does
anything.
that podcast with his, and I know it's going to surprise some people, but he has some very unusual questions to his guests. I know that surprises you. But he's a germaphobe, but apparently he's not as bad as Howard Stern now. So Howard Stern does his stuff at the house and try to make it look like he's right there in the studio with everybody. So
I'm gonna keep working on this. Fuck Howie Mandel. Fuck.
You almost got it. You almost fuck Howie Mandel. Go ahead.
Fuck Howie Mandel. So it breaks my heart to hear that. He's the fucking greatest dude ever.
He's that's you know what? Dana White is my spirit animal. I think
I gotta look up that podcast that you showed the clip from, because that host dude looked like I don't know.
I'm not a fan of. He's a comedian. That's a comedian on the right. I think the other guys are comedians too, but
he might be.
He's not funny, so
he might be on a list somewhere. We might have to look at his past.
Stick around for Patreon.
Oh yeah, we have a shocking announcement in the
shocking announcement on Patreon. You was able to stick the whole hour right here because it's only been a little over 40 minutes. But right now, as it goes off, we're going to Patreon. Please subscribe. Only $5. We appreciate it. We're going to have some honorable mentions and a big announcement. And I'm going to tell a story. Some Memphis wrestling news that happened just today. It shows you how, when you're dealing with wrestlers, what happens. That's a teaser. The story
is fresh, much like my new hair.
I got a call from Dustin Starr today, this afternoon. So very fun. All right, same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there, and as everyone knows, Lance hates the listeners.
He loves his mama.
I do. I love my mama.
And as everyone knows,
did I say be there? Did I say be there? I don't think I said be there.
It.
All right, here we go. Be there. And as everyone knows, I love my mama.
Okay, we just syntax was messed up on this. But as everyone knows, I have fun everywhere I go. The huge announcement, this is the tease. The huge announcement involves the Dave Meltzer typos. That's all I'm going to say. You have to stay tuned if you want to hear all of it.
I am not going to be able to record today. I got a haircut appointment this afternoon.
It's
Gotta
fresh.
Stay fresh. Fuck the listeners. I am a gay